Hey, it's Mike. I'm back. Just thought I'd do another quick video here. This is kind of a wrap-up video for 2023. I've seen a lot of people do some of these. I'm going to combine both my Spotify 2023 Wrapped list. There's a list of my top bands and my top songs that I streamed on Spotify during the year 2023. And then I'm also going to, at the end, talk about my top albums of 2023, not not things that I've streamed, but vinyl records that I purchased in the past year, my top 5. So here we go. Let's start with Spotify. So anyway, what this Wrapped deal is they go through and they, Spotify, the app, they take your data and they calculate how many minutes you spent with each one of these bands and with each one of these songs. And then they spit out a list at the end of the year. And my list was pretty surprising, actually. So I'm going to talk about my top 5. You can go in and find out, your top 10 or whatever. You can go beyond the top 5, but I'm just going to talk about the top 5 in each of these lists. So my top 5, I'll talk about them right here, but my number 5 and my number 1, to me, just seemed like they were flipped. I'm really kind of shocked by my number 1, and I really feel like I listened to number 5, the band, more than any of the other music that I've listened to this past year. But they have the numbers, they have the calculations. I do not, so I did not log my hours of listening. So it just feels like it should be different. But anyway, let's start with number 5. The number 5 band that I streamed this past year is my favorite band, Stereolab. And I'm really shocked. I listen to them almost every day at some point, and I'm really shocked that they weren't my number 1, but they were my number 5. Number 4, I'm not surprised by this one at all. The new Slowdive album, Everything is Alive. I've listened to this a lot. I listened to their album before this one too. So that's why they are up in my top 5. I really love this album. So not surprising. Number 3, the band is Metric, a Canadian band. I talk about them quite a bit on my channel. And this new album, Formentera 2, is fantastic. I think it's their best album. And I listen to it a lot. I listen to the Formentera 1. I listen to Art of Doubt. I listen to Fantasies, Synthetica. They've got a lot of really great albums. So it doesn't surprise me that they'd be in the top 5 for me. Top 5 band streams. Number 3 is Metric. Let's see. Number 2, the number 2 band, not surprised by this at all, the Cocteau Twins. And I think one of the main, well, they're my second favorite band, so that's one of the main reasons why they'd be up in my top 5. But also I did a video this past year of my Cocteau Twins collection, and it's a pretty large collection, and I did a lot of listening leading up to the making of that video. And so I listened to the Cocteau Twins quite a bit. Courtney loves the Cocteau Twins too, so we listened to a lot of it together when we're out and about driving and that kind of thing on Spotify. So anyway, number 2 band for me is the Cocteau Twins. And then the number 1 band, and it's completely just doesn't make any sense to me. It's a great band. They have some great music, but I can't believe I've been listening to this more than anything else in this past year. It's the band Sweet Trip. And they had me down as the number 1 record, or the number 1 band for me for this past year, Sweet Trip. I love this album, and I also bought the previous album on vinyl too, and I listened to them a lot, and I streamed them a lot, but wow. I think that I would have thought that this spot would have been Stereolab, and that these guys would, at the very best, been number 5. But hey, Spotify knows better than I do, so fantastic. Sweet Trip. As far as songs go, I'll start with number 1, since the cat's out of the bag as far as my top 5 bands. My top 2 songs, the song In Sound We Found Each Other off of this album, and Snow Purple Treasures off this album. Really 2 fantastic. There's more great songs on this album. There's a lot of songs. But those 2 songs are just, I listen to them all the time. So admittedly, Those are probably the songs that put me in this, put them in the #1 spot. So yeah, my top 2 songs there. My third favorite song, or my third most streamed song, was Prayer Remembered off of this album. I remember listening, when I first listened to this album, that second song on side A, Prayer Remembered, I remember just, it stood out so much. It's an instrumental and it's such a fantastic song. Still is, haven't gotten sick of it, listened to it a lot. So not surprised about that one. And then the #4 and #5 songs are off of this album, Formentera 2, and it's the song called Days of Oblivion and Who Would You Be For Me. Both of those songs, fantastic. They're my 2 favorite songs off this album. I listen to the whole album pretty much. I don't just listen to those 2 songs, but those 2 songs are absolutely my favorites. So yeah, not surprised about that. Yeah, so those are my top 5 songs, top 5 bands from Spotify Wrapped. Then let's go to my top albums of 2023. Start with #5, and this is a 5-song EP released by Beach House called Become, and it is 5 songs that were recorded during the sessions of Once Twice Melody, and they left it off the album for whatever reason, and they released it as a separate EP. And they claim that the songs don't really fit in that well. They don't match really that well with the album. And every time I listen to this, I disagree. I think it sounds exactly like it belongs on that album, but they know a lot better than I do. But they're fantastic. All 5 songs are really good. Holiday House, though, the 3rd song, is my favorite off of this. It's good enough to be one of the best albums, or one of the best songs off of the album if it had been included on the album. It's really, really good. So yeah, Beach House, Become, #5. #4. This was a much anticipated album in this household. I love Blonde Redhead. This is their latest album, Sit Down for Dinner. They released a couple singles earlier in the year, the song Snowman and the song Melody Experiment. And I absolutely loved both of those songs. I thought it was the best music that they had done since the album 23. The whole album is kind of inconsistent. I don't really think any of the other songs off this album really stand up as well as those 2 songs. It's just kind of uneven for me, but I do really like it. I think it's a good album. I think it's the best one since the album 23, but I wouldn't put it as my top of the year, but I do really like it. Blonde Redhead, Sit Down for Dinner. #3, we have Emma Anderson's first solo album called Perles. Hope it's her first. I hope she keeps doing these. Emma Anderson is the guitarist and backup vocalist for the band Lush. I'm a huge Lush fan, and I was really excited to see this album come out and hear it. She released 3 songs off of this as singles, whatever singles on Spotify and whatnot. And those were like decent songs, but what I realized once I bought this album and listened to the whole thing is that those 3 songs are my least favorite off the album. The album is so freaking good. Usually it's the other way around, like with that Blonde Redhead, the singles were the best, and then you get the album and I was kind of disappointed. But with this one, I was just the opposite of disappointed. I was so taken by how great, like how solid this album is pretty much the whole way through. It's just fantastic. I just love this kind of music, dream pop, shoegazy-ish a little bit, but not really. She doesn't really like come like guitar forward a lot in her songs. It's really kind of light and mellow, and a lot of acoustic guitars and stuff that you don't really hear in Lush songs. But just really nice. I really love this, and I hope she keeps making solo albums because she's really good at it. So #3, Emma Anderson, Pearlies. #2, you've seen me show this fairly recently, Metrics, Formentera 2. So they put out a Formentera 1 last year, and this is Formentera 2. I saw them in concert for the for the last tour. And then this tour, they've only been doing a few shows here and there, and they've been touring around the world. Hopefully they're going to come back and do like a comprehensive United States tour, in which case I'll definitely go see them again. I've seen them a few times. They're a fantastic live band. This album is, I don't know how they keep like doing better and better, but it seems like each album lately of theirs just keeps getting better and better. And their album two albums ago, Art of Doubt, was I thought their best album. And then Formentera 1 came out, and then that to me became their best album. And now this one came out, and it's better than those other two. It's almost a perfect album. It's pretty much every single song I love. They're all earworm songs. They're all really catchy, well written, kind of dream pop, a little bit, indie rock. There's a lot of guitar, but there's also a lot of synthesizer and a lot of just really nice kind of new wave embellishments. I don't know. It's just all just really well done, really well written. Emily is such a fantastic lyric writer, and she's such a great singer. Her voice is just so perfect for this music. If you don't know Metric, you should definitely check them out if you like anything like what I'm describing, or if you watch my channel and like these other bands that I'm into. Metric's fantastic. They're so underrated. Out of Canada, love them, love this album, Formentera 2 by Metric, my #2 album of 2023. I don't know if you could possibly guess what my #1 album is, but it was pretty much my favorite album of the year as soon as I bought it. I said right away, I think the very first video I made that weekend, I said this is probably going to end up being my favorite album of the year, and it held true. There were some contenders, but definitely this is my favorite. Slow Dives, Everything is Alive. I don't know what I could say about this album that hasn't already been said, but it's just a gorgeous, beautiful, amazing, just very deep to me. I don't know. To me, it's not superficial music. It just has such a heaviness to it. And it's beautiful. They just do things in this that you just don't expect for like a shoegaze band that's been around since the early 90s. You just don't expect them to do such sophisticated, mature, just really just amazing music. I know it gets panned by some critics, and I just can't imagine why. I don't know what album they're listening to, because when I listen to this, I hear new stuff every time I listen to it. And my favorite songs keep changing, depending on, kind of what mood I'm in. I just love listening to it, and none of it gets old. If anything, every time I listen to it, I'm excited to like get through the whole album and hear all the songs. It's just been a profound album for me, and I absolutely love this. My favorite album of 2023, Slow Dives, Everything is Alive. I hope you all will give it a chance, check it out, because it really is a beautiful record. So anyway, that's it. 2023 wrapped up. My Spotify stuff, my top albums. Let me know in the comments like what your favorite albums are, or make a video and let me know that you made one, because I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what other people think of these. And some of my stuff I've seen on other people's lists, and some of these I haven't seen at all, which is kind of surprising sometimes when I don't see, I don't know. I just would imagine that Emma Anderson and Metric would be on some people's lists, but I haven't seen it anywhere. So yeah, just let me know what you think, and I love the comments. Thanks for watching, and have a beautiful weekend, and I probably won't see you till after Christmas, and I'll do a video of all the spoils, because I think pretty much every time I was asked like what do I want for Christmas, I just basically say records. So I think that's what I'm getting, is records pretty much. So it should be a good haul. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.